What is the creepiest Uber experience you had? This happened a couple of months ago. I was at a friend's house one night and didn't realize how late it was, around 2 a.m. I love sleeping in my own bed, so I decided to call an Uber home instead of staying over. My friend lives in a more rural area of town, so it took a while to get an Uber, and it was around a 40-minute drive back to my house. Upon getting into the Uber, the first comment he made was telling me how pretty I was. Immediately, red flags started going off in my head. I'm already a very anxious person, and have always been afraid of taking Ubers alone, especially at night, so I was already on edge before the comment was made. I just replied, "Thank you," and he started to drive me home. My friend was a boy, and I assumed the Uber saw him standing at the doorway before we left, because around 5 minutes into the drive, he asked, "Was that your boyfriend?" At this point, my gut feeling tells me something is wrong. I reply, "Yes," and say nothing further. He then proceeded to go on about how lucky my boyfriend was, and again, how pretty I was. At this point, I didn't answer. Around 10 minutes into the drive, the Uber driver tells me that he knows a quicker way to get to my house, and we're going to take a detour. I immediately start to panic inside because as an anxious Uber rider, I consistently watch the Uber app on the driver's phone and need to be following the map. Also, this detour seemed to be going deeper down the rural roads versus into the city. I then called my dad, but because it was past 3 a.m. at this point, he didn't answer the phone. I then decide to call 911. The operator answers me right away, and I act like I'm talking to my dad on the phone. She immediately sensed that I was unable to tell her the exact situation, but I acted like I was telling my dad that I was in an Uber and would be home soon. She then started to ask me questions about the color of the car, by having me simply answer yes or no, the maker of the car, my location, etc. She asked if I was in danger and I said, "I don't know." After telling her my location, she then told me to tell the Uber driver to get on the highway, because the detour he had taken consisted of more rural roads. Thankfully, we were only around 5 minutes from the highway, and then another 10 minutes to the police station. She told me to tell the Uber driver to drop me off at a house in a neighborhood close to the police station. She gave me an exact address, and advised that an officer would be waiting there for me to take me home. After politely trying to beg the Uber to change the address, he finally did, and continued to go in that direction. I stayed on the phone with the operator until I got to the destination. Sure enough, an officer was waiting a couple of houses down. I got out of the Uber and walked straight towards the car. I'm not sure if I was overreacting about the situation due to my anxiety, especially by calling 911, but the alarms were going off so loud in my head that I genuinely thought I needed to in that situation. I now only take Uber alone in the daytime and always share my ride with my parents or friends. Stay safe, everyone.